So good morning, and many thanks to Heriot-Watt University for the kind invitation to be part of this event. So let me start by talking about a student called Priya from Mumbai, studying computer science at the British University's branch campus in Malaysia, with a year on the main campus of her university in the UK, all while she's applying for jobs in Dubai using AI tools that scan her resume before a human ever sees it. Now, this scenario isn't unique. Millions of students, like Priya, are navigating education and careers across borders, across cultures, and across algorithms. Transnational education is no longer a niche experience. It's actually a defining feature of modern higher education. Students today might attend a branch campus, they may join a dual degree program, or they may even engage in virtual exchange. But what does this mean for their sense of belonging and career prospects? While transnational education offers exposure to diverse perspectives, networks, it also raises questions. How do students build a community when they're neither fully here nor there? In this fluid digital world, where do students like Priya truly belong? In a world where education and careers are increasingly borderless and digitized, how do we ensure transnational students feel they belong? And how do we prepare them for a job market that is being literally rewritten by AI? On one hand, transnational education offers unparalleled opportunities, access to global networks, hybrid identities, cutting-edge skills. On the other, AI-driven hiring risks turning these very strengths into liabilities. So today we'll unpack this tension and we will ask, how do we ensure that education across borders doesn't just create mobile learners, but thriving professionals? So during my talk, I will cover three main parts. First, we'll explore how transnational education shapes identity and why belonging is the invisible curriculum. Next, we'll see how AI is rewriting the rules of employability, from resume screening to robotic interviews. And finally, we'll discuss solutions, how educators, employers, policymakers can bridge these gaps. This isn't just an academic matter. By 2030, it is estimated that 8 million students will study across borders annually. It is also a fact that nearly 80% of employers right now are using AI in hiring. So the stakes can't be higher. By the end of today's presentation, I hope you'll see this not just as a challenge, but as a blueprint for curating the future of global learning. Now, according to the OECD, in 2023, there were over 6 million students studying outside their home countries. And this number, as I mentioned, by 2030 will grow to 8 million. Their motivations are diverse. Pursuit of high quality education that may not be available in their home country, better career prospects, personal growth, and sometimes necessity, because their home country might be in conflict or there may be instability. And we've seen plenty of those conflicts in recent years. Transnational education through partnerships, branch campuses, and online programs can reach students in every corner of the world, fostering global academic mobility. Transnational education also promotes cultural exchange, enhances institutional reputation, and generates, of course, revenue for universities through international internationally recognized qualifications, exposure to diverse perspectives, improving employability in a globalized job market. Additionally, transnational education helps bridge skill gaps by aligning curricula with international standards, benefiting both the learners and, of course, the host country's economies. Now, despite its advantages, transnational education faces several obstacles. Regulatory differences between countries can complicate accreditation and quality assurance, leading to concerns about degree recognition. Cultural and linguistic barriers may hinder effective teaching and learning. Also, disparities in technological infrastructure can limit the success of online transnational education programs. Additionally, maintaining academic integrity and preventing the commercialization of education at the expense of quality remains a key concern for transnational education program providers. Transnational students also face significant challenges. They have to navigate new cultures and languages. They have to adjust to different academic systems that can be very different to their own. Coping with homesickness and isolation. And these experiences deeply shape their identities and, of course, this sense of belonging. As Marginson notes, international students often undergo a process of self-formation, negotiating who they are in relation to new communities and expectations. Transnational students often describe feeling like permanent outsiders, facing cultural dislocation, isolation, or third culture identity struggles. And research shows that more than half of transnational students experience isolation in their first year. I experienced this too as a Greek student studying in the UK decades ago. So it's not something new. We need to keep in mind that belonging isn't just about physical presence. It's about being seen, being valued, and being connected. For transnational students, this can be fragmented. A student from India studying in Malaysia and then seeking work in Dubai may struggle with where they fit professionally and socially. AI complicates this further. Social media algorithms might keep transnational students tied to home cultures, while AI-driven university tools could unintentionally marginalize non-native speakers. So the question is, how can institutions create spaces where these students thrive? And for many institutions, they still treat belonging as an afterthought. Take campus design, for example. A UK study found that prayer rooms, international student lounges, and even affordable food options signal you belong here more than any welcome speech that a senior university leader can make to the new students. But it's not just about spaces, it is also about systems. When academic advising assumes everybody understands local job markets, or when career services don't address visa hurdles, transnational students can fall through the cracks. Community is a crucial factor in the success of transnational students. For students studying at international university branches like Heriot-Watt University in Dubai, the challenges are even bigger as they need to navigate Emirati labor laws, British academic norms, and global job markets, all while TikTok algorithms bombard them with conflicting career advice. It is not a surprise that mental health crises among our students are rising. So how can institutions help them feel like they belong in a community? Supportive networks, whether formal like university services or informal like peer groups, can make the difference between thriving and struggling. Mentorship programs can be particularly beneficial for students who may be struggling with transition to university life, who may feel isolated, or they really need a support network. For example, in my experience, the University of Melbourne runs a successful mentoring program, connects students with senior students or alumni who can provide guidance and support. Mentors can provide academic support, help students develop effective study habits, and also connect them with resources. We have a similar mentorship program at Zayed University, the PALS program. Peer mentorship can actually help the students build relationships and feel more connected to the university, and in this way find a sense of belonging. Pairing students with alumni mentors can also provide insights into career paths, help them develop skills, and also connect them with potential employers. Peer mentoring can be particularly effective because it leverages the lived experiences of the current students. When my daughter went to the UK to study, her university had a buddy system where she was paired with a second-year student who helped her settle in and took her to the student clubs where she met students with similar interests to hers. It made a big difference to her being away from home for the first time in her life. And studies have shown that peer and alumni mentoring programs can increase student engagement, improve their sense of belonging, and improve their overall well-being, and even reduce the likelihood of students dropping out of their study programs. Increasingly, digital communities are also helping to bridge the gap. Social media, messaging platforms, online forums allow students to maintain connections with home while building new ones abroad. This creates what some scholars call hybrid belonging, a sense of being at home in multiple places, both physical and virtual. Institutions play a vital role here. Programs that foster intercultural dialogue, mentorship, and inclusive campus cultures can help students feel seen and supported. A strong sense of belonging and student identity has been linked to greater engagement in academic activities and overall well-being. But even as students build these networks and sense of belonging to a community, they're entering a job market increasingly mediated by AI. Let's explore that shift. Artificial intelligence is transforming job-seeking processes from automated recruitment tools to AI-driven skill assessments. While AI can streamline hiring and help identify skill gaps, I was saying that it has also introduced new forms of bias and failed to recognize the unique skills and experiences of transnational graduates. Now, studies indicate that a significant portion of resumes are filtered out by applicant tracking system, ATS, before human recruiters even review them. In 2023, a report found that approximately 75% of applications are rejected by ATS based on resume content and formatting. This highlights the importance of optimizing our students' resumes for ATS to ensure they're seen by human recruiters. While transnational graduates often possess adaptability, intercultural competence, and global networks, skills that these days are highly valued in the digitized workforce, automated systems may not always appreciate non-traditional or transnational credentials, potentially exacerbating disparities in access to employment opportunities. And it is also a fact that AI systems used in job recruiting are riddled with biases. Data bias. AI models trained on historical hiring data, of course, will inherit and even amplify existing biases related to gender, race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic background. For example, if past hiring favored certain groups, the AI will replicate those patterns. There's also algorithmic bias. The design and tuning of AI algorithms can unintentionally favor or disadvantage specific groups, especially if the people that develop those algorithms have perspectives that are limited. There are also language and name biases. Candidates with non-standard language, non-Anglo names like mine, or gaps in employment history are more likely to be screened out, even if those factors are actually irrelevant to job performance. Finally, personality and communication bias. Some AI tools assess personality traits or communication styles, which can disadvantage candidates from different cultural backgrounds who may be using different gestures, like Greeks and Italians, we use our hands a lot, or we may be moving our heads differently to an Anglo background candidate. It can also disadvantage candidates with disabilities. So AI recruitment tools need to be carefully managed and regularly audited, transparent practices, algorithmic audits using frameworks like the recently published EU AI Act, diverse input and ongoing evaluation are essential to promote fair and equitable hiring outcomes. But it's not all bad. AI isn't just a barrier. It is also an ally. AI offers tools that can help transnational students enhance their chances to find a job. Platforms like LinkedIn now allow users to audit how their profiles rank for specific jobs. Digital mentors like ChatGPT can simulate job interviews and give students practice. In the UAE, a few days ago, Al Ghurair Foundation launched Masa Al Ghurair, an AI-powered platform that connects students, educators, and employers, and uses AI to help students create personalized career journeys. Students receive skill insights, learning recommendations. They can attend short courses to boost their skill set for free. And when the time comes, they can also receive job matches. At the same time, educators and employers gain real-time insights into skills and trends that are shaping the labor market. Now, platforms like Masa Al Ghurair aim to help increase students' career readiness and employability. And this platform has been created for both Emirati and expat youth. But how do we know what skills are in demand today and in 3 to 5 years from now, when our graduates will be entering the job market? Traditionally, universities augment their curricula with specific skills after consulting with the industry and finding out the emerging skills in the workplace. With the advent of AI in education and the workplace, industry and higher education institutions are both equally unaware as to what the future workplace will look like, what new skills might be needed, And what skills that are currently considered to be core skills may become obsolete. Thankfully, organizations like the World Economic Forum that publishes the future job reports can help us gain some insight. The 2025 report was compiled after surveys with over 1,000 leading global employers representing more than 14 million employees. As you can see in this table, the recent report places greater emphasis on adaptability, resilience, flexibility, agility, leadership skills, digital skills, AI, big data, cybersecurity, as well as human-centric skills, empathy, motivation, service orientation. When compared to the 2023 report, we can see that the core skills and their importance have changed somewhat significantly in just 2 years. In this table, you can see how the core skills evolved over the past 2 years in terms of their importance. So leadership and social influence increased in relevance, with more employers identifying them as a core skill compared to 2023. Resilience, flexibility, and agility showed substantial increase, reflecting the need for adaptability in a rapidly changing environment. AI and big data also, of course, showed significant growth, now among the fastest growing and most critical skills for the future workforce. Talent management and service orientation both increased in importance as organizations now focus on workforce development and customer-centric strategies. Technological literacy, of course, continues to rise in importance, with networks and cybersecurity and environmental stewardship also moving up the priority list. Curiosity, lifelong learning, and systems thinking grew in importance as organizations seek employees that can adapt and learn continuously. There are also skills that decreased in importance: dependability, attention to detail, and quality control. These skills have decreased in importance compared to 2023 as automation and digital tools take over more routine and precision-based tasks. Manual dexterity, endurance, precision, for the first time, these physical abilities show a net negative decline, reflecting the ongoing shift away from manual roles. And basic literacy skills, such as reading, writing, and mathematics, they're still considered stable, but there is a small net decline in the projected importance. So as you can see, it is becoming difficult to predict what skills our graduates are going to need in order to compete in the local and global job market, especially for transnational education providers, where students are a lot more mobile. Our traditional method of consulting with the industry in order to shape our curricula is not as helpful as it was in the past during the pre-AI era. So as educators, we need to keep up with the technological evolution. We cannot afford to stand on the sidelines and see what happens with this new thing called AI. This leaves us, of course, with one viable option. We need to experiment with AI. Currently, AI has penetrated the teaching and learning process, and frankly, in my opinion, it has put our assessment practices in a state of crisis. So let me elaborate. Faculty now have access to multiple AI tools that can help them generate content, design learning experiences, and create whole course modules, complete with assessment tasks in just a few seconds. Being specialists in their field, faculty can actually screen the content generated by AI and filter out non-relevant information or input that is not accurate. Now, For those of us who are old enough to have experienced the World Wide Web revolution back in the 90s, it looks as if currently we're going through the stages of AI adoption as we did with the web tools. We use them peripherally. We simply enhance or augment existing curricula and pedagogical practices with very few changes, if any, to the core of what we do and teach. This is particularly evident in assessment. We may already use AI tools to augment what and how we teach, but assessment remains largely unchanged. As a result, issues arise as to ethics and academic integrity. Courses that are assessed by asking students to write an essay or an assignment at home are particularly vulnerable, as now students, of course, resort to AI to help them write such assessment pieces. And where there was a clear line between academic integrity and academic misconduct, and we knew how to define what constitutes cheating, these days the line is blurred. If a student uses AI to brainstorm ideas about their assignment, but then uses the ideas to write the assignment themselves, is that cheating? What if the student then puts the assignment through Grammarly to polish the language? Is that cheating? Using spell checkers in the past was not considered cheating. In fact, we actually encouraged it and rewarded it with extra points. If a dyslexic student uses AI to turn their own thoughts into a written essay, which is a difficult task for them, is that considered cheating? And if a student who's learning in a second language uses AI to help them read or translate an academic article and then summarize the key points, is that cheating? As educators, the onus is on us to infuse our courses with the skills that are currently predicted to be essential by the time our students graduate, but also the skills to keep them flexible and agile and prepared to keep learning and adjusting fast as the workplace changes. We also need to redesign our assessment practices. Write-at-home essays are no longer the way to assess students' learning. Neither are exams, as they do not replicate any of the skills the students are going to need in the workplace. We need to teach students about ethics and ethical uses of AI, how AI should be a tool to help them in their learning rather than replace learning and original thought. This will be crucial not only for their journey through our educational programs, but also afterwards, when the ability to navigate through a world dominated by AI will be all the more important than any degree they graduate with. Finally, we need to keep an open mind as to the kinds of skills our students are going to need in order to be future ready. Remember the 21st century skills? Well, their importance is changing, and we're only a quarter through the century. We used to consider flexibility, motivation, empathy, active listening as soft skills. Well, now these are heralded as core skills. Educators these days warn against cognitive offloading and how the use of AI by our students is putting their cognitive skills in a coma. Well, consider this. What if AI could do some of those cognitive tasks that we currently do? What if AI could do most of the steps involved in critical thinking? For example, evaluation, justification, analysis, synthesis, etc. What if our students would need more practice with other skills like creativity? Our educational curricula have systematically ignored the development of creativity. Secondary curricula consistently remove arts and creativity courses from their schedules to make room for more serious cognitive skills like mathematics. which will soon be probably better done by AI. At university, degrees in creativity and human behavior, like creative arts and social sciences, are not as popular as degrees in engineering and business. But in view of the list of skills that are needed in order to future-proof our students, we have to rethink our curricula and keep an open mind. I'd like to share a personal experience with you. Exactly 11 years ago, almost to the day, I was asked to give a lecture to the faculty of a well-known university in the UAE. The university was most famous for its engineering program. And the lecture was actually part of an application, a job application at that institution. The title of my presentation was 21st Century Teaching and Learning, Are We There Yet? And the point I was trying to make was that we needed not just to change education, but to reinvent it. I spoke about how the skills we traditionally teach our students needed to be revised, updated, and educators need to keep an open mind about what and how they teach in light of emerging technologies. And to demonstrate this point, this is an actual slide from that presentation. I used Solver as an example. At the time, back in 2014, it was a brand new app. Remember, this was before AI, where the student would write the reasoning and steps for solving a mathematical problem on the left side of the table. And on the right side, the app would make the calculations that were needed to come up with the answer to the problem. So I told a room full of engineers to stop teaching calculating and start teaching math. Of course, a few faculty raised their hand and asked me angrily whether I was telling them to stop doing their jobs, that is, to stop teaching their math courses, and basically questioned who I was to tell them how to do their jobs. Actually, many walked out of the room in protest. And needless to say, I did not get the job. Luckily, I got a job at Zayed University, where I have been working now for the past 11 years. Now, if I did this presentation today, now that AI and ChatGPT have already infiltrated our teaching, do you think those academics would get upset, or would they be happy that I introduced them to a new AI tool? Now, I share this experience with you to remind us all, especially those of us who have been in academia for a while, have had full careers, and we think we've seen it all, we've done it all, that the future is difficult to predict now more than ever. And we need to remain open-minded, agile, and flexible. Our curricula also need to allow for flexibility so that new tools, new ideas, new skills can be adopted as soon as they emerge. The rapid evolution of the global workplace, driven by technological advancements such as AI, automation, and digital collaboration tools, demands that higher education faculty remain open-minded and agile in adapting their curricula. As industry needs shift towards skills like data literacy, intercultural competence, adaptive problem solving, educators must critically evaluate and update pedagogical approaches to ensure our graduates are future ready. This requires a willingness to integrate emerging technologies like AI-assisted learning, interdisciplinary perspectives, and real-world applications into teaching. Resistance to change or fast change risks leaving our students ill-prepared for an unpredictable job market, where employers increasingly value adaptability over static knowledge. By embracing continuous learning ourselves through professional development, industry partnerships, and looking at student feedback, having conversations with our students, we can model the very flexibility we seek to instill in our students. Higher education must move beyond traditional silos to foster curricula that are dynamic, inclusive, and responsive to the complexities of a transnational tech-driven economy. So let me conclude by reminding us that as we stand at the crossroads of transnational education and AI-driven globalization, the challenges are undeniable. Students navigating fragmented identities, employers relying on biased algorithms, institutions struggling to bridge the gap between learning and employability. Yet, within these challenges lies transformational potential. Transnational education doesn't just move students across borders. It actually equips them with cultural fluency, adaptability. These are skills that AI cannot replicate, not yet at least, giving these students an advantage over other job seekers. Transnational education providers need to remember that belonging isn't merely about place. It is about creating communities that validate hybrid identities and turn otherness into professional strength. Meanwhile, AI, if harnessed ethically, can democratize access to opportunity, personalize our students' career readiness, and hopefully dismantle archaic barriers in hiring. Now, the task ahead is clear: to build ecosystems where education transcends borders without diluting belonging, where technology serves equity rather than exclusion, and where every learner, whether in Edinburgh, Dubai, or Putrajaya, can thrive in a workforce that values their global mind as well as their technical skills. This isn't just the future of education, it's the future of work, the future of identity and human connection in an age of intelligent machines. The students of tomorrow won't just cross borders, they'll redefine them. And our job isn't to prepare them for the world as it is today, but the world they will create and lead. So thank you for your attention.